Morning, good morning, my lovies. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, April 6th, and we're starting another week together. And we've got a lot of fun things happening this week. So please check the morning messages every day. Also, please, please also remember that when you finish an assignment, you're going to turn in or submit it to me, please. Um, that's about it. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We're going to go back to James and the Giant Peach. We're on chapter 23. And when we left off, um, finally, James' plan had actually worked, and he had been able to loop thread around the seagulls, 502 of them to be exact. And finally, the peach was in the air. Chapter 23. Sorry, I don't know if you see this pop up. I have a pop up on my computer. Okay. In a flash, everybody was up on top. "Oh, isn't it beautiful?" they cried. "What a marvelous feeling. Goodbye, sharks." "Oh boy, this is the way to travel." Miss Spider, who was literally squealing with excitement, grabbed the centipede by the waist, and then two of them started dancing around and around the peach stem together. The earthworm stood up on his tail and did a sort of wriggle of joy, all by himself. The old green grasshopper kept hopping higher and higher in the air. The ladybug rushed over and shook James warmly by the hand. The glowworm, who at the very best of times was a shy and silent creature, sat glowing with pleasure near the tunnel entrance. Even the silkworm, looking white and thin and completely exhausted, came creeping out of the tunnel to watch this miraculous ascent. Up and up they went, and soon they were as high as a cheech, and soon they were as high as the top of a church steeple above the ocean. "I'm a bit worried about the peach," James said to the others as soon as all the dancing and the shouting had stopped. "I wonder how much damage those sharks have done to it underneath. It's quite impossible to tell from up here." Because think about it, if they're on the top of this enormous peach, to see what's going on the bottom where the sharks were, it's really hard to see how much damage there was. "Why don't I go over the side and make an inspection?" Miss Spider said. "It'll be no trouble at all, I assure you." And without waiting for an answer, she quickly produced a length of silk thread and attached the end of it to the peach stem. "I'll be back in a jiffy," she said. And then she walked calmly over to the edge of the peach and jumped off, paying out the thread behind her as she fell. The others crowded anxiously around the place where she had gone over. "Wouldn't it be dreadful if the thread broke?" the ladybug said. There was a rather long silence. "Are you all right, Miss Spider?" shouted the old green grasshopper. "Yes, thank you," her voice answered from below. "I'm coming up now." And up she came, climbing foot over foot up the silk thread, and at the same time tucking the thread back cleverly into her body as she climbed past it. "Is it awful?" they asked her. "Is it all eaten away? Are there great holes in it everywhere?" "How much damage do you think the sharks did to the peach? Because remember, there were so many sharks, the water was like boiling with them. And you know, sharks have enormous teeth, and they were attacking the peach. So, what would you say, or what would you guess would be the amount of damages on the peach? This is where you press pause and talk to someone or something and share your thought. Okay, I wonder what you guys said. Let's find out how much damage there really is. Miss Spider clambered back onto the deck with a pleased but also rather puzzled look on her face. "You won't believe this," she said, "but actually there's hardly any damage down there at all. The peach is almost untouched. There are just a few tiny pieces out of it here and there, but nothing more." "You must be mistaken," James told her. "Of course she's mistaken," the centipede said. "I promise you I'm not," Miss Spider answered. "But there were hundreds of sharks around us. They churned the water into a froth. We saw their great mouths opening and shutting." "I don't care what you saw," Miss Spider answered. "They certainly didn't do much damage to the peach." "Then why didn't we start sinking?" the centipede asked. "Oh, sorry, then why did we start sinking?" the centipede asked. "Perhaps we didn't start sinking," the old green grasshopper suggested. "Perhaps we were all so frightened that we simply imagined it." This, in point of fact, was closer to the truth than any of them knew. A shark, you see, has an extremely long, sharp nose, and its mouth is set very awkwardly under its face and a long way back. This makes it more or less impossible for it to get its teeth into a vast, smooth, curving surface, such as the side of the peach. Even if a creature turns on its back, it still can't do it because the nose always gets in the way. If you have ever seen a small dog trying to get its teeth into an enormous ball, then you will be able to imagine roughly how it was with the sharks and the peach. Um, Okay, hold on for 1 second. Let me show you what this means. I'm back. And I'm going to attempt to draw something. Okay. This is going to be awful. Okay, so here's... Oh, can you see this? Yeah, that's the side of the peach, okay? This is going to be wretched. I'm just telling you, this is going to be wretched. Oh, Lord. I was not meant to be an artist, so please. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. OMG. OMG, this is so bad. I can't even think of what a shark's body looks like. This is wretched. But I guess the important point is not the body. This is so bad, guys. Oh, brother. Okay. Yep, there it is. The best shark. Okay, so look, the point is this. The nose of the shark, when it would say it's diving in, the mouth is set back. See, it's back here. So when the shark dives in to get the peach, it's just bumping its nose against the peach. Sorry, it should be this way. It's bumping its nose against the peach. Okay, that's probably one of the worst pictures ever. Okay, anyway, that's why there's no damage, surprisingly. It must have been some kind of magic, the ladybug said. The holes must have healed up by themselves. Oh, look, there's a ship below us, shouted James. Everybody rushed to the side and peered over. None of them had ever seen a ship before. It looks like a big one. It's got 3 funnels. You can even see the people on the decks. Let's wave to them. Do you think they can see us? Neither James nor any of the others knew it, but the ship that was now passing beneath them was actually the Queen Mary, sailing out of the English Channel on her way to America. And on the bridge of the Queen Mary, the astonished captain was standing with a group of his officers, all of them gaping at the ground, the great round ball hovering overhead. I don't like it, the captain said. Nor do I, said the first officer. Do you think it's following us? Said the second captain. I'll tell you, I don't like it, muttered the captain. It could be dangerous, the first officer said. That's it, cried the captain. It's a secret weapon. Holy cats! Send a message to the Queen at once. The country must be warned. And give me my telescope. The first officer handed the telescope to the captain. The captain put it to his eye. There are birds everywhere, he cried. The whole sky is teeming with birds. What in the world are they doing? And wait a second. There are people on it. I can see them moving. There's a... do I have this darn thing focused right? It looks like a little boy in short trousers. Yes, I can distinctly see a little boy in short trousers standing up there. And there's a sort of giant ladybug. Now, just a minute, Captain, the first officer said. And a colossal green grasshopper. Captain, the first officer said sharply. Captain, please. And a mammoth spider. Oh, dear, he's been out the whiskey again, whispered the second officer. And a simply enormous centipede, screamed the captain. Call the ship's doctor, the first officer said. Our captain is not well. A moment later, the great round ball disappeared into a cloud, and the people on the ship never saw it again. And that's where we're going to leave it today, folks. So, tomorrow, chapter 24. Mrs. Richmond, signing off.